You just found out a friend talked about you behind your back. Your chest tightens. Your face goes hot. Something ancient just woke up inside you. You call it betrayal. But the real answer is far stranger than a bruised ego. Your brain is running a program that is hundreds of thousands of years old. And that program was not built for friendship. It was built for survival. Because for most of human history, being cut off from your group did not mean an awkward silence at dinner. It meant you probably died. No lions to protect you from. No one to share meat with when your hunt failed. No one to warn you when danger was near. Alone, on the savannah, you were not a top predator. You were prey. So when someone in your ancestral band broke trust, stole food, lied about a kill, or turned on the group, the response was not a shrug. It was swift, it was collective, and it was designed to happen before things got any worse. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm spent decades studying small-scale foraging societies, from the Ju-Huansi of the Kalahari to hunter-gatherer groups across the globe. What he found upending was this. These societies were fiercely, almost obsessively, egalitarian. Not because everyone was naturally kind, because they had built an entire social system to stop any one person from grabbing too much power. Boehm called it a reverse dominance hierarchy. The group together actively suppressed anyone who tried to bully, cheat, or dominate the rest. And they had a toolkit for it. First came gossip. Whispers about the person who broke the rules. Word spread fast in a band of 30 to 50 people. Everyone knew. Then came public shaming, direct confrontation, mockery around the fire, designed to sting. If that did not work, it escalated. Ridicule turned into shunning. The person was spoken about, but no longer spoken to. And if the betrayal was severe enough, the final step was exile. Or, in the most extreme and rare cases that anthropologists have documented, execution by the group itself. Why so harsh? Because your ancestors were not just protecting their feelings, they were protecting the calorie math of survival. Anthropologist Kim Hill, who spent years living among the Ache people of Paraguay, documented just how tightly cooperation was woven into daily survival. Food sharing was not a kindness, it was insurance. A hunter who came home empty-handed today needed someone else's meat tomorrow. A group only works if everyone pays into the system. So what happens when someone cheats that system? What happens when someone takes without giving back? The whole structure starts to collapse. And your ancestors could not afford that. A few free riders were tolerable. Too many, and the group starved together. This is where your brain comes in. This is where the ancient program gets personal. Psychologist Kipling Williams spent his career studying something he called ostracism, the act of being ignored and excluded. In one of his most famous experiments called Cyberball, participants played a simple game of catch on a computer screen with two other players, except the other two players were not real. They were programmed to gradually stop throwing the ball to the participant. Nothing was said, no one was insulted, the ball just stopped coming. And yet participants reported real pain, not metaphorical pain. The same brain regions that light up during physical injury also lit up during social exclusion. Why would your brain treat being left out of a video game like being hit? Because for nearly all of human history, that signal meant something far more dangerous than hurt feelings. It meant the group was pulling away from you. And a group pulling away from you in the ancestral world was the first stage of a death sentence. That is why your body still reacts the way it does. Your chest tightens, your stomach drops. Your mind replays the moment on a loop. This is not overreacting. This is a 500,000-year-old alarm system doing exactly what it was built to do. Robin Dunbar, the anthropologist famous for studying the size of human social groups, argued that gossip itself evolved as a tool of social policing. Long before written laws, before courts, before police, gossip was the mechanism that kept people honest. If you cheated someone, word would travel. Your reputation, not a badge or a badge number, was the only enforcement your ancestors had. Think about how much of your own daily life still runs on this exact system. You check what people say about a restaurant before you eat there. You look up reviews before you hire someone. You care, maybe more than you would like to admit, about what your coworkers think of you behind closed doors. None of that is shallow, it is ancient. Reputation was survival currency long before it was a LinkedIn metric. And here is the part that reframes everything. The betrayal you feel today, when a friend gossips about you, when a partner lies, when a coworker takes credit for your work, is not just an emotional wound, it is your nervous system running the same threat detection your ancestors used to spot a free rider draining the group's resources. Your brain does not know the difference between a modern slight and an ancestral survival threat. It reacts the same way either way. So what do you do with that information? Do you have to accept the flood of anger, the urge to gossip back, the desire to shun the person who hurt you? Not exactly, but understanding where the feeling comes from changes how you carry it. That instinct to tell someone else what happened, to talk it through, to seek validation from your circle, that is not petty. That is the oldest form of justice your species ever built. Long before trials and evidence, there was simply this: tell the group and let the group respond. The instinct to distance yourself from someone who broke trust? That is not coldness. That is the same self-protective calculation your ancestors made every single day. Who can you trust with your next meal? Who is safe to stand beside when the group is threatened? And the sting you feel when you are excluded, even from something as small as a group chat or a party invite. That is your body confusing a modern inconvenience with an ancestral emergency. Knowing that does not erase the sting, but it does mean you can stop believing something is wrong with you for feeling it. Because there is nothing broken about a body that still remembers what it took to survive. Somewhere in your nervous system right now, there is a script written by hundreds of thousands of years of small bands huddled around fires, watching each other closely, deciding together who could be trusted and who could not. That script is still running. It runs every time your chest tightens after a friend's betrayal. You did not just find out a friend talked about you behind your back. You just felt the oldest alarm system your species ever built, doing exactly what it evolved to do.